And the first step, I'd say, in becoming liberated from this unconscious conditioning that's driving us and the world around us is to become aware of it. I mean, awareness really is the first step. So, and by simply being aware without judgment, we take the wind out of its sails. So here's an example. Like, imagine that you're cut off in traffic. And maybe traffic's not your thing. That's kind of a trigger point for me and a lot of people, I guess. But maybe imagine somebody cuts you off in traffic and you immediately feel a rush of indignation and rage, And so when you're able to notice that emotional charge within the moment as it's arising, and you become aware of it arising within you, and instead of just charging forth in a blind rage, you lessen the intensity of the moment by simply noticing it, and you give yourself space to observe with compassion, like what is arising within you. And then from that state of awareness, you're able to choose a response. And so it's a shift out of reacting and into responding, if that makes sense.
Being the observer of your feelings. Reacting appropriately.
I think that's such a great first step to any part of awakening or shadow work, is just even becoming aware that you have reactions without indulging in them.
That's right, because in reality, our actions don't really matter that much. It's our reactions that shows us who we really are. It's relatively easy to act like a good person. That's the persona, right?
Yeah.
It's the reactions. Those reactions are what show you, they show you who you really are.
And also, like you were saying, like with the reaction, if you can be an observer of your thoughts, in that way, you can scientifically rewire your brain to be more peaceful in those moments, but it's so hard to do. But, I think that's like really cool how they like have these videos where it shows your nerves. It's like hooked up to all these electrodes and everything. And if you can just observe that emotion and not react on it and just let it pass, or just say, I know that I'm angry, but I'm going to let it pass. It shows that your neurons make connections with other neurons instead of firing on the same ones, which is pretty amazing to me, that you can do that. You can rewire your brain to respond in different ways.
Yeah. And, I think what you just said, it's important to note that, some people hear, that we should not act on our emotions as they arise, put space between us and what we're feeling. And they maybe start to suppress or repress certain emotions, like, oh, I don't even want to, acknowledge that emotion, but that's not healthy either. That's really just, making that shadow heavier.